Welcome back to Sharp Sports Media. And for Brooklyn Nets fans like myself, it has been a rough couple days. As a couple days ago, Kevin Durant requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets, invoking basically the doomsday scenario for Nets fans. And it's tough. I mean, you had hope, or you were worried. I mean, I was a little worried about Kyrie, not too much, but I know a lot of people were. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? And then you get him to opt in. And it's like, okay, let's run this back at least one more year. You're going to have Ben Simmons. Hopefully you can re-sign everybody, maybe add a couple different additions. You know, you traded for Royce O'Neal, which was, especially now, it doesn't look too good. But before, for 10 minutes, it wasn't the worst deal in the world. But now it doesn't look too good. But then to get all the hope just sucked back from you again, with Kevin Durant asking for a trade. Basically, him and Kyrie will both be shipped out then, because there's no reason to have Kyrie on the roster without Kevin Durant. And man, what am I rooting for, the Mets here? Like, to play with your emotions like that, it was definitely pretty rough. And it's tough because it is doomsday scenario, kind of, because you were a championship contender, and I know you only won one playoff series with Durant, and it's definitely been tough. You know, the first year he was out the whole year. Then you had last year, you were so close. So close. You were a big toe away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals. And, you know, Kyrie hurt, Harden playing with one leg was tough. Then you have this year, and you know, you get swept. And really, Kyrie, I agree with this. Kyrie destroyed this team. Kyrie Irving absolutely destroyed this team. He put a wedge between Harden and the team. He put a wedge between Durant and the team. He put a wedge between himself and the team. And it really is a doomsday scenario on that end. What I will say, though, is some people are saying at least, oh, the Nets let this get out of hand as well. Well, the Nets could have handled this better, especially this past season with Kyrie playing and not playing, and the whole vaccine mandate kind of thing. They could have handled it definitely a little better, but still. The NBA is the most driven league is driven by the superstars the most out of any league, because they can make the most impact, because they're on the court the most. There's only 5 players on the court for each team at a time. They can have the most impact on a game. They can carry that team, or 1 or 2 guys can carry you a long way to even a championship sometimes. So this is a league driven by superstars, and to say, oh, you screwed up, you effed up by letting Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving kind of get what they want, you're freaking crazy. Like, what did you expect, to like say no and then they're just gonna leave? This is not the NHL, the MLB, or even the NFL, where sometimes that happens, but most of the time, no. It's the only time in the NFL is a quarterback, and you kind of just give them a heads up on what's happening. You don't say, hey, this is what do you want to happen. You're like, hey, give us your opinion. We'll definitely take that into consideration, and we'll let you know what we decide. But the general manager, me, is going to run this team. I mean, you saw that with Devontae Adams getting shipped out, and stuff. You see, like, Tyreek Hill traded. Probably Mahomes didn't want that. So you see it all the time, and the NHL, same thing. You know, you think the stars run the business. You look, Evgeny Malkin might not be a Penguin next year. Then you look at the MLB. It's different because there's no hard cap, really. There's just a luxury tax cap. But still, it's not driven by superstars. They don't decide the coach or anything. You don't see Aaron Judge or Mike Trout asking who should be the coach for our team, or deciding who to trade for. You know, they might give their opinion and say, hey, I recommend this guy, but at the end of the day, they have nothing to do with the decision. That's totally false in the NBA. I mean, look what LeBron does. Look what so many other superstars decide what really happens. And there's very few that don't. I think Giannis is one of the few that's kind of, I mean, he was close to leaving the Bucks. So, I mean, Curry and him and Giannis are the only two that kind of just like very much more team oriented, like it was back in the day. Now it's just kind of like you just run thing. The superstar kind of runs the show, kind of, and you just try to help support him, which is tough, which is definitely tough. So listen, could they, like I said before, could they have handled the vaccine mandate better with Kyrie? Absolutely. But to say this is completely on the Nets' fault is a lie. It's a complete lie. But now, Kevin Durant's most likely 95% going to get traded, which means if he does, Kyrie's 100% going to get traded. So where do you go from there? Well, the asking price apparently is a young star for Kevin Durant and 3 first-round picks. Now, the price probably went up a little higher after the Rudy Gobert trade because, oh my God, the Timberwolves paid a fortune for him. They gave up the entire farm for him, and for Kevin Durant, you're gonna have to give up 2 farms, not just 1, 2 farms now. So it's doomsday scenario, but you can rise from the ashes if Sean Marks plays this right, and if anybody can play it right, I have faith in Sean Marks. I really do. Now, some people might not have faith in Sean Marks. But seeing what he did before KD and Kyrie were here, you gotta have some faith in him. So you gotta get at least a star, or a young star. You're trying to get a couple first and try to build. You need to get some type of shooter to build with Ben Simmons, and you're gonna have you need another piece to build with Ben Simmons. Get some first round picks. You're not gonna. You might be if you get another piece, you might be like a play-in type team or a back half type playoff team. You rebuild your team. You have still a couple good pieces. Nick Claxton is a great defender, great rim protector, and good in the paint. You got Cam Thomas I think is gonna be a great scorer in this league. I mean, he might not be the best on the defensive side. You still got Joe Harris. You still got dude. You re-signed Patty Mills, who could be a good veteran for you. You got Seth Curry still, so you got a couple guys here that could still make a decent impact. So I think it's just finding the right team to get a good star from it. And dream scenario, there's a couple dream scenarios for me. Will they come true? Probably not. Dream scenario is if you can get some of the younger, for example, if you can get some of the younger, really young guys who haven't developed yet, if you can get, like, imagine you trade them to the Pistons for like a Jaden Ivey and a couple other pieces. I don't know if they would do that, but that's an alternative route if you want to go the young way. You could try to go, again, like, I don't think they're going to, Houston or anybody or more. I think the Pistons would be more in win-now mode than the Orlando Magic, the Pistons, or, not the Pistons, Orlando Magic, OKC, because he's not going to go back to OKC, I don't think, and Houston. So I think that's an option. Maybe another crazy one. What if you go to the Pelicans and say, hey, give us Zion. You had a good run without him. Now you add Kevin Durant to CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram. Give us maybe like Zion, Herb Jones, and a couple picks, something like that. And that, again, seems crazy, but like those are the dream scenarios. Maybe a 3-way trade. You go get Donovan Mitchell, who seems to be on the block. You give Kevin Durant to another team. You get Donovan Mitchell and with some picks along, and you kind of go along with that. That could not be a bad option. So there are going to be options that it won't be. I don't think this is not like the 2012 trade with the Celtics where you're giving up so much to get these old veterans that really can't do much. I think it feels worse probably than that day because it didn't all compile. It was just kind of year after year of crappy, but it didn't compile into like 1 or 2 days like this does with Kevin Durant leaving, and, you know, there goes that championship window with that team. But overall, it sucks, and my heart is broken, and it was tough. I was listening to like some "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend," or "My heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe." So like, it was tough. No, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was tough. You know, had the head over the hands like that for about a good hour. It was tough, but I think if you can right the ship here, it's possible. It is definitely possible. You got to make this trade one of the biggest trade, or if not the biggest trade to ever happen in the NBA. You got to get not just the farm from a team. You got to get 2 or 3 farms. You got to get everything from them. You're paying for one of the best players of all time, one of the greatest scorers of all time, one of the best players in the league, who will immediately change your team in a way you've never thought. So you have to get the farm. Later, once we figure out the trade and where we figure out this team, I'll make we could talk about like where I should think the team should go, if there's any more veterans, but we got to see like what happens with the Kevin Durant deal and Kyrie Irving as well. I don't know how much you're going to get for Kyrie Irving, to be honest. Apparently they're not going to trade. They're not going to look at Kyrie's fits, and neither would I. You screwed us over. We're going to screw you over too. We'll send him to like the Kings or some crap team like that. Make him pay for what he did. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you have if you want to tell me how much this sucks or any other Brooklyn or NBA takes, my Twitter will be in the description at jsharf_1216. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the other side.